What a perfect first video to make in the new studio. It couldn't get any better. We got the new studio, and the Dallas Cowboys actually did something. They actually made a big-time move post-draft, post-free agency. And let me tell y'all, last night, this George Pickens to Dallas news was starting to slowly trickle out, and I got excited. I try not to nowadays because, this team tends to let us down, but the fan in me got excited because we have discussed this at a level unlike any other. We've discussed this to nauseum. This team getting a legit weapon outside of CeeDee Lamb. And I can't lie, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Will McClay, they cooked with this one. The Dallas Cowboys have traded for George Pickens. From Todd Archer, the Cowboys gave up a 2026 third-round pick and a 2027 fifth-rounder to the Steelers for Pickens and a 2027 sixth-rounder. Now, we get onto this organization for not doing anything, not making moves, not drafting a wide receiver, not doing this and that. We have to give them their flowers because this is beautiful. George Pickens, the player, incredibly productive over the past 3 years. He had 801 yards in 2022, 1,100 yards in 2023, and 900 yards in 2024. According to Pro Football Focus, Pickens on deep targets in 2024, including the postseason, a 99.9 receiving grade, which ranked first, 17 catches, which ranked first, and 577 yards. The Steelers' entire premise on offense, their plan, was to throw the ball deep to Pickens and let him make a catch. Russell Wilson was like, Pickens he's down there somewhere. And I promise we're going to do a film breakdown on Pickens today on this channel. So if you aren't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You want to see Pickens mossing people on all 22, make sure you hit that sub button. 68% of y'all that watch the channel are not subscribed. So subscribe to the channel and join the family. As for Pickens, absolute monster. 800 plus yards, 1,000 yards, 900 yards. Those are insane numbers when you put into perspective who was throwing this guy the ball. Over his 3 years in Pittsburgh, he had Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, Mitchell Trubisky, Russell Wilson, and Justin Fields. That is who was throwing this guy the ball, yet one of the more productive receivers in the league. Do you guys realize how awful that lineup is? People like to complain about Dak, Dak this, Dak that. Go look at this list of guys and tell me which one even gets close to comparing to Dak Prescott. If that was the production with Kenny Pickett or Justin Fields, what can it be with Dak? It's honestly incredible that he didn't completely crash out before now. People talk about the personality, the locker room stuff. How can you not be constantly pissed off when you have Mason Rudolph throwing you the ball? Because Pickens is easily one of the most physically gifted wide receivers in the league, especially when you talk about tracking the ball down the field, making catches outside the framework of his body, adjusting to the pass mid-air. Doing all of those things from 15 to 20 yards plus down the field, he might be the best in the league. And PFF's advanced metrics and stats, they back that up. No Cowboys biased involved. The dude is electric. And after seeing this move, after the news broke, I feel much better about the Cowboys draft haul. I feel much better about the wide receiver room because now Tolbert and Turpin are your wide receiver 3 and 4, and I think that looks much better on paper. We always knew that this team was going to make a move, but we also have realized over the years that our idea of making a move is completely different than what Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones typically do. But this one, they got this one right. Now you can just put Pickens on the outside and let's go play some football. Jeff Kavanaugh actually made a really funny comp for Pickens, and we're going to talk more about this when we watch the All-22. He said it was like steroids Michael Gallup, and that's really 100% of what you're getting, including the roid rage. We have this Cowboys offense has seriously missed a vertical threat. Not somebody that's going to separate it at an insanely high rate, but somebody that can adjust down the field. You guys remember how good Michael Gallup was, how much it helped out this offense, how explosive they could be, but they haven't had that ever since he tore his ACL. And we have to give the Cowboys front office their flowers, regardless if it works out or not. You can think it's a terrible idea, you can think it's an awesome idea, but you still have to give them their flowers because this is different. This is what we've wanted, what we've been waiting for. They didn't just give up a 6th round pick for an aging wide receiver. They gave up a 3rd and then a late round pick swap, like a top 100 pick for a guy to make their offense better, to make CD better, to make Dak better, to make a move that makes a difference, that actually moves the needle a little bit, and this does that to perfection. It gives the Cowboys a legit weapon outside of CeeDee Lamb, and it just gives Lamb some room to breathe. 2 legit weapons. Jake Ferguson can hopefully come back a better player, and now you can play football at a much higher level. You can actually compete on offense. And I know people are going to say, well, the dude's a head case, and he's bad for the locker room, he does this and that. I do not care. I'll repeat it again. I do not care. We've talked about Brian Schottenheimer culture this, Brian Schottenheimer culture that. What is culture when you can't score touchdowns? Before this move, there might not have been a single argument on the sidelines. Everybody might have been just as happy as could be. The locker room loved each other, but they might not have scored more than 13 points all year. They were prepared to roll out Jalen Tolbert as their wide receiver 2 or Kevontae Turpin as their wide receiver 3, pushing those guys just a little bit further down the depth chart, and getting a legit weapon opposite of CeeDee Lamb makes this so much better. Head case or not, your offense improved a lot. And when we talk about Pickens, we talk about the locker room stuff, all of that, the reality is he is 24 years old. 24. He hasn't committed a crime outside of football. Yes, he threw Jordan Lewis down to the ground. Does he do some irrational things at times? Will it probably cost you 15 yards here and there? Yes. But for me, I don't know about you guys, I can deal with it if he can be a vertical threat. If he can catch 9 out of 10 50-50 balls down the field, like I'll deal with all of that. Because really, what other choice did this team have? I think we got to give Jerry Jones and this front office their flowers. Give them their flowers when it comes to making a move like this, because it's outside of the norm. It's something different. Not some 5th round pick for aging wide receiver in Brandon Cooks that can maybe be a vertical threat. This is a young guy that does have locker room issues. Brian Schottenheimer has talked so much about the culture, this and that. You bring him in, hopefully there's guys in that locker room like Dak Prescott that can kind of lead the way a little bit. If there's a single quarterback in this league, there's probably a handful of guys that I would trust to handle a locker room, be able to handle Pickens, keep everything nice and tidy culturally for this team. Dak Prescott is the guy to do it. Needless to say, if you guys didn't know, I love this move. I was super excited last night. Foots texted me and was like, hey, I think this Pickens to Dallas news is real. And I'm like, I'm not going to get my hopes up just yet. And then I woke up this morning and boom, there it is. Cowboys got their wide receiver 2. I honestly could not be happier. Can't wait to get in here, break down the film. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel. More videos coming today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you later. I love you all.